Casey Ashley here. We're doing a little springtime fishing. Water temperature is about 62 degrees. We got some fish probably spawning, getting close to spawning. Faced with a high water condition, and it looks like it's just gotten this way because all the pollen's still on the water, all back up in the bushes. I mean, there's so much stuff to flip. I mean, it's pitiful. I'm starting out with a jig. You know, I love to fish a jig. There's plenty of stuff in the water to flip to, so that's what I'm doing. You know, flipping it on what I'm flipping it on is a 7.6 XO Tour heavy, and I got the new Smoke Speed Freak reel. I love this reel fishing shallow, especially when I'm pitching, because a lot of times, you know, when you pitch up to a tree, fish bites it, they're gonna swim straight to you, and it's hard to get a hook in a fish when he's coming straight at you. I don't care, you know, how close you are to him. But with this Speed Freak reel, you can catch up to them and jack their jaws if you want to. But I'm throwing it on 20-pound fluorocarbon, high seas fluorocarbon, and I'm just, you know, I'm trying to dive it in every little hole I can in these bushes. You know, when the water's high like this, what I like to do is try to cover as much water as I can. But really, you want to find a place where you can actually get to the bank. And what I mean, get to the bank, you know, as you can see right here, you know, it's kind of hard for me to flip over in there to where the actual shoreline is, and that's, fish are wanting to spawn, so that's where they're trying to get to. But between me and them, they've got all kind of places to hide. So, you know, it's hard to leave this stuff. It looks so good, and you want to flip to everything, and you know, but it's just hard to cover water like this. But I'm gonna fish it just because it is, you know, it looks so good. But throughout the day, what I'm gonna try to do is cover as much water as I can, and actually find places where I can get to the bank. When you can do that, you can get to the fish. I'll tell you a little bit of how I try to break down a creek or a pocket or whatever. It's kind of a double-edged sword when you got a high water condition in the springtime. The water temperature is about 62 degrees, so you know you got some fish, you know, spawning or getting right close to spawning. You know, with all this shoreline cover, they got a lot to spawn around, but the problem is being able to get to them. But all this stuff's so pretty, you can't help but to fish it. So I'm gonna do that to get that out of the way, you know, satisfy myself to know I can't get to the fish. I need to stop fishing all this stuff. But what I like to try to do, you know, is find places where you can actually get to the bank. You know, there's probably a lot of fish in all this scattered cover, but you're not gonna catch them just because you can't get your bait to them. So you gotta be able to get somewhere you can actually get to the bank where the fish wanna be to spawn, you know, so you can actually present a bait to them. That's kind of how I break it down, you know, but that's hard to find because a lot of times you have to find, you know, the last channel swing in a pocket or secondary channel swings halfway out. You know, you just kind of have to see what stage the fish are in, you know, before you can build on something. But high water conditions, it's good. It makes you feel like you're doing something because it's got all this beautiful cover to flip, you know, throw a frog around, whatever you want to do, but it's just so hard to get your bait to a fish. So you kind of have to eliminate water accordingly, you know. This may be a good pocket, you know, I've never been here before. This may be a good pocket, a good creek, but with all the water in it, it's not that good to me because you can't get to the fish. So now you just have to keep covering water, find places where you can actually reach the fish, and that's how I would break down a high water situation. If it wasn't high water, this condition, you know, the lake's weather's been pretty stable. Water temperature is 62, so I know there's some fish spawning somewhere. And there's still going to be some pre-spawn fish. If you don't like the sight fish, which I don't, what I'm going to try to do is find a creek that's got a little dingier water, and then figure out the pattern. You know, are they all the way in the back of the creek? Are they, you know, secondary points? Are they in the channel swings, the last channel swing in the back of the creek, or the ones toward the mouths? You know, you just have to keep fishing, cover a lot of water in the spring because the fish are biting. You just have to find out what they're doing. Take you a bait like a spinnerbait. Water temperature is warm enough, throw a frog. A jig is my deal. You know, I'm not gonna go to the lake without a jig tied on. I just can't do it. It's not in my blood. But springtime, cover a lot of water, figure out what the fish are doing, and you'll be able to pattern them once you get a couple of bites. They're not very hard to figure out once you get a bite or two. You know, if you're practicing in a high water situation like this, you know, you may know the lake even, and you may know that this creek is good in the spring. You've always caught them there since you were a kid, but you face with high water conditions like this, and the fish, like I say, they get so far back in that stuff you can't get to them. So what you've got to do then, even on a lake that you know, or if you don't know it, you've got to find places to where there's isolated cover. You know, this is just look down through here. I mean, it's just bush after bush after bush. But what you want to find is what I'm talking about, places you can get to the bank, or if it's isolated, like one bush here, one big tree here. You know, these fish are going to be relating to something because they're not going to spawn out in open water. So what you want to find is isolated stuff or something different. You know, like one big tree right here in a patch of grass, or one little bush in a patch of grass. Anything isolated will help you pick it apart faster. That way you're not going down through here just trying to flip everything. You'll get just enough bites and stuff like this to keep you doing it all day, and you'll get behind the 8 ball if you're trying to practice for a tournament. I hate all this grass being up in these bushes. So adds another factor. We have to get out of here if we're gonna catch anything. Except for that one. Solid fish. Heavy some of that jig, didn't you, buddy? Pretty fish. That fish been shallow for a while. Hadn't started fanning yet. Springtime high water fishing right now.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah. For anglers who want it all, the new HDS3, a revolutionary step forward in simultaneous chirp, sonar, and structure scan HD sonar imaging, clearer views, faster interface, multi-touch screen, keypad operation, and total boat control. Plus, with versatile networking and go-free wireless sync of maps, software, and apps, HDS3 is the ultimate fish finding system. Find, navigate, dominate with Lowrance.